What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video. If you didn't see my last video, I was talking about I just bought a whole lift setup that I was gonna put in. It was just a concrete, and there it is. The lift is up. We got the Black Mamba on the rack. It was put on Friday. I'm sorry, it was put on, the lift was installed Saturday. I was so excited, so I had the car at my house, brought it Saturday night, and we lifted it up Saturday night. Check it out how it worked and all, and it works great. Sunday we started putting out the motor. It got stuck between the shaft and the clutch, so I needed to pry it real hard. If I would have waited 1 more hour, I would have got it out Sunday. But Monday mornings when we got it out, the first hour of the day. So pretty much it was a huge game changer for me, man. It's amazing how fast and how easier to put out motors with a lift is compared to doing it on the floor. I mean, years ago, my dad had a mechanic shop next door from here, and we had lifts, and I always used the lifts. And back then I wanted to do my own stuff for my own cars, but the mechanic shop, he got tired of it, and he just wanted to do tires. So we closed it. He closed it. He just rented it out, and we just stuck with tires. So, time passed by. I didn't have no interest in doing mechanic work, but I always did my own stuff when it comes to my cars, as in whatever I could do. My friends do the stuff on my cars, shops for rebuild motors, rebuild trans, and we put it together. I'll help them out. I would do a lot of things like that. And anyways, time passes by, and I got much more interested in the performance upgrades business, especially for only for LS motors. I only want to mess with LS motors, right? My favorite motors. So we I had an idea, and I was like, why don't I just get a lift and see where that takes me, right? So then the goal is, my ultimate goal is, if I can have this shop running at night with 1 or 2 mechanics working on LS stuff only. We're only gonna do 1 car at a time, maybe 2 cars, but I want to get the big jobs, like the whole car, like motor trans, a bunch of suspension, all this back, rear ends. Of course, we're not gonna build a rear end, but we're gonna install and upgrade the whole car pretty much. Fuel, you gotta build fuel lines if you want to show you E85. You want to go E85, thicker fuel lines, so you gotta drop the tank and wire and put it back up. Catch can lines. You want to add turbos or superchargers. Like this one's got the turbocharger right there, and you can see it's kind of dark. But yeah, that's the whole goal of this. And just so you know, look at this spot right here. Before, it was a table right here for the guys to eat. It was a rack right here, but high. It will go all the way up. And this was storage for some new tires, which was this rack right here. So it was filled with new. It was filled with new, and the bottom we had just a bunch of random stuff and some repaired tires that need to be repaired. So our section would be right here. If we had seen tires that had nails, you know, we pull them out and we leave them here. When we have time, we'll go to the front and patch them. So right now, our section to repair tires is what, these three, and that's it. We've been doing a pretty good job of patching those tires, and not many patches needed right now. But before it was like, let's say 15 or whatever, and they will put them on there. But anyways, so we made the room, take that off, take the table off. We took down some wall that was over there, and we built that wall so the rain won't come in. This side, it was another rack right here that had used tires and new tires. And this one was more forward right here, and the rack was on this side. That's the back rack, and then I'll show you the front rack. This was it. So we rearranged, right? This is the rack that was over there. It had some new ones, but we took that out, and I mean, if it's there, I mean, before there was nothing there, so I think this was an awesome place to put it. And so, by the way, I still need to make the floors right. Like, I gotta make a ramp right here, and I gotta make a ramp over there of cement. So when we use those dollies to bring in tires, take them to the back, and there's the other one over there. We just roll it up and roll it out. We gotta, like, right now we're just taking them one at a time, two at a time, throw over, and then carry them over there. But you know, before when it was flat, you just rolled it out much faster. But anyways, so we took out that rack, the table. Right now the table's in the back, behind the wall for the guys. And yeah, this, you know, started digging. You know, we started digging right here, and you need to make it real strong. You see that all over Instagram, those lifts falling. Well, you know, 90% of the time is because the floor is very weak, and they just start bending on top. Well, that starts lifting. But we made it real thick. I mean, they asked for 6 inches. I mean, this is just 6 inches right there. We went like 2 feet. I always do things overboard, man. I mean, I don't know why I'm like that. It's like, I want it super strong. Like, this thing is like built for like a bridge type of strength. And we put rebar down there, man. It was really strong. So that's the one we dug, not this one. This one's just over the floor. This is just so the wheels can be straight in the back. And I gotta do the same for the front, but this was very deep. All the way over there, all the way past, like by the wall. And then this is right here. So it's not that complicated to make a lift, man. You know, some of these guys, they have a little bit of room, some room that you know, you can maybe think about put a rack if you're interested in doing, like, you know, mechanic work. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna use it probably for brake jobs and oil changes and for customers' cars. For now, since we're not gonna have a lot of work, and we're still learning about how to, like, do the upgrades. Good thing I have friends that do it and I can learn from them. But later, of course, there's also gonna be friends and family. This is gonna help big time. I don't know if where you guys are at, but over here, all the mechanic shops are packed, and it takes a long time for them to even accept your car, and it takes a long time for them to give your car back. It just really sucks. You know, it's a lot with the parts of COVID and all that. It's taking forever to get parts and stuff. Maybe on some cars, which backed them up on their other cars. But you know, you can do the stuff yourself. It's not hard. I mean, that's basic stuff. Oil changes and brakes and, like, maybe those small suspension stuff on your friends and family's cars. And so, like, if something has someone has a emergency, like, hey, I need this, like, I need oil change, right? I feel like my oil's gonna blow up. Like, I don't have time, like, until the next 2 weeks or something. Can you do it? I'm like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it was, you know, get this one, roll it out, put the other car in, or do, you know, oil change or brakes or whatever it is, right? I mean, you can do it on the floor too, but like, what about if there's like oil pan leak or something, and it's pretty easy to get to, but it's hard if it's on the floor, right? Like if it hits something, right, like, and it becomes like all oily, and my driveway's getting messed up, I need it done ASAP, but all the shops are busy, you know, that's like an emergency type of thing. And yeah, we'll just bring it in, we'll just do it, you know, like, or my clutch going out, you know, I need my car for my job, and yeah, bring it, we'll fucking knock it on one day, you know. But well, it depends kind of what kind of car, but not all of them, right? But I don't know, if it's for family, I'll do anything, right? Any job or whatever. But you know, friends too, I mean, close friends will do that. But if it's like customer's car, nah, you know, Nissan Maxima transmission, nah, I'm not gonna do that thing, you know. I don't want to deal with that stuff. So, but you know, again, it's mainly for us. That's why my plan was for this. But then eventually, you know, like, end up doing the performance upgrades here at night. It's gonna be a nice place to do it, just one car at a time. We'll put like a TV up there or something, or TV over here. I still need to finish it up, but I still need to put wall right here and wall right here, so the rain won't come this way and stuff. I still need a lot of work when it comes to this stuff. But if I put like, you know, and stuff, a lot of these things need to go, right? And I need my tools. You see, there's no tools really. I just have a little table over there right now. But you know, it takes time to set up all that. But once it's done, it's gonna be nice. You know, I need to know what kind of things to buy. I'm not a mechanic, right? I'm a tire guy. This is a tire shop. This is I do tire shop videos. But this is, again, I'm talking about this because it's directly related to that. If you add something like this to your place, you know, and start making income from it. We did it on the floor all the time. We always did it on the floor stuff, just little here, little there. But, you know, yeah, it costs some money to do this. So that's another factor, like why people don't do it, like, or why I didn't want to do it a lot of times. It's a lot of money. It's going to cost me like this much, right, for labor and all that. But you know, eventually it's gonna pay off, and it's gonna be there free, and then you're gonna be making money on top of that. But looking forward to that many years to come. This is the first car up there, yeah, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It works so good already just on the first job, right? There's a motor over there. It's a 408, everything forged. And the guys are gonna come pick it up today at where they're gonna rebuild my motors. So here's the clutch, brand new clutch. It only has like 200 miles. I was doing the braking and that went out with the JE pistons. But anyways, got the Chevy high performance heads from the dealer, but I bought them online, but they make them LS3 style. So yeah, just brought back memories when I was looking at this. I was gonna make a video about how back then, you know, I was what, 17, 16, and I wanted to learn to do like high performance stuff, but for myself. And it was like the mechanics were like, no, you should learn to do it to make money in jobs, you know? And I was like, yeah, that too is cool, but I was like, I want to do it for myself, man. So now that I'm in a better position, I can afford high performance parts and some cars and stuff, and you know, now and some time, right? Because you know, the tire business is good, so I'm here, but by the way, still working and stuff, of course, right? So when I was like leave the work I'm doing here and handle the tires, and then when it dies down over there, I come back and work on it again. So it's not like I wasn't doing nothing in the front, but it gives you time to do things now that, you know, you stabilize the business, you know, after many years and stuff. And, you know, it's been stabilized for many years, but it's awesome. It's a beautiful thing. You know, I was, you know, planning to have a lift like at my house, like one day, right? I don't have that room. I don't have the space for it, but you know, one day, you know, I can, and I want to do it at my house, but it's like I can do it now, and you know, I ain't going nowhere when it comes to this this shop. So I was like, yeah, I think now's the time to do it. So tire guys, 345 4017s Toyota TQs, and they grip really great. You know, this was 750 horsepower back then, before it broke, and those tires were gripping really good. I had 315 35 18s forever on these car with those rims, all four are the same, but they were not gripping on this car. It was too much power. So in the front, it was always in the front 285 35, and I was like, I'm gonna change them. So I went 335 30 in the front, and it handles really good. Yeah, it takes away power from like a little bit from like going forward. If I put regular street tires, it'll be faster, but this car already has too much power. It's not about how fast I can go and stuff now. It's whatever I want, how I want it to look. This is the look I like. So, but look at the tires anyways. This is the G-Force Rivals. It fits really good on this car. Tire related, right? A little bit of some stories I want to say. So at the tire shop, you know, there's nowadays, back then it really didn't exist, but now you have financing available for tire shops, right? It was already been out, but this is a story that goes way back. So here he goes. One day, an older gentleman pulls up to the shop, and he's in his car. He parks inside, and he walks in and tells me about, you know, have you ever thought about offering financing for, you know, your customers? And I was like, no, not really, but tell me about it. And he's talking about it, like you could, you know, you finance, and you know, the company pays you the next day, and you can even put labor in it if you're doing mechanic work, and other companies don't offer mechanic work, labor, only parts or tires, right? And then, so, you know, the whole thing, you know, I was like, oh man, this is like, sounds too good to be true. And like, or this was like, he's gonna, you know, just come want my my bank account routing number, so he, you know, try to steal some money, right? I mean, I was younger, and so like, I never heard of the company, you know, I didn't even know that type of stuff probably like existed. I mean, again, to me it was like, wow, it's too good to be true. And so I was like, let me think about it, you know. So do research on the company, you know, look the guy's name up on online, see if he's a scammer and shit. And I saw the company, it looked pretty legit, but I never know anybody that had this stuff. So then he comes back another day, and he's like, oh man, like, is this guy legit or what? And then we're saying, well, yeah, maybe, you know, like, let me look it up, let me find out and stuff, you know, like, so like, you know, you're busy, so like, look it up again and see reviews and stuff, and he leaves, comes back another day, right? He's like, man, you should do it and this and that. And by the time I was like, man, this guy's real, for real? Like, it seemed too good to be true. I'm like, yeah, I see online everything's good and stuff, you know? Everything's checking out fine, but it's like, I don't know anybody who has this stuff. So he's like, oh yeah, I have fucking people I did, you know, it for, and it's working out really good. And then I was like, so anyways, I was in the front. We was talking to my sister in the front, and I go to the back where the car was at, and you know, I take a picture of the plates. I make sure this guy's not gonna scam me, you know. And then I take it, like, I have a camera, so it was recording him, and I said, okay, well, let's do this. Like, give me references that you did, you know, that you already did work at the shop, and you know, they come out good. So what shop is it? I can just look it up online. And so he's like, oh, this shop and this shop. So I Googled it, wherever they're looking, San Bernardino or something like that, and some other place. And then call him up, and I said, hey, you know, this is Rudy from Rudy Sires. How you doing? And I was like, there's a gentleman here by the name of, I forgot his name, and he says he did financing for you. You offer that service? Yeah. It comes out. It really works really good. And I was talking to the owner of the shop. And it's awesome, and it's worked out good, and I said, oh, okay, so pretty much it's all legit and shit. He's like, yeah, and that guy too, the older gentleman, he's a really good guy and stuff. Like, he's not a scammer and stuff like that. Oh, okay. I called the other guy, same response to another tire shop, and I was like, all right, let's do it. And so yeah, we offered the financing, and yeah, it worked out like the way he says. You know, you get the information of the customer, they fill it out, and they pay the next day. As soon as they get approved, like, you gotta make sure, like, it always changed throughout the years. Like, before they wanted like picture ID, registration card, proof of whatever, insurance, whatever you can get your hands on. It was like easy for them, and then it got a little more complicated and then now it's easy again throughout the years. But I was able to get it pretty much when it comes to the business. I was able to get a lot of big sales, like a lot of like mud terrain sales, like lifted truck tire, 1350 20s or 22s and stuff like that. I mean, car stuff too, the little car stuff. But a lot of big sales, like, those guys are legit. Like, they pay right away, and if they don't pay them, that's not your business. Like, you got paid, they'll deal with the customer. So that's like, you know, you're and so like they don't like, oh no, you can't, you gotta like, because there's a little time in between, like when they fill out the app and they gotta get approved, and then the tire sale happens, but then you also gotta, after that, something like, you gotta also provide a little bit extra proof. But even then, when that happened, like, no one ever like rejected it. No one ever, on their point. The company I use is called Easy Pay Finance, and you know, they're easy to work with. They answer when you call them, and they walk you through the whole app online. It takes 15 minutes to do the application for them. Right away, it says if they're approved or not before they even start the app. Like, in the beginning, like, there's like 2 sections. And yeah, it's been really good with that. Nowadays, I don't really do it much. Moving forward, I mean, I gotta have more like advertising on that stuff. Maybe I call them up and to give them more posters, but we still do it, but not as before. Before, when we were like trying it out and all that, and we were excited. Oh yeah, let's push it, and we did push it, and you did get results and stuff. So I know there's a lot of shops that do like they advertise on Craigslist. And they even put like the app company, and they from like, if they see it on Craigslist somehow, and then they can go in it themselves. They prove themselves before they even go to the shop, like, and that's awesome. I think that's like some rental wheel stuff, you know, like those guys, you know, not them, but I'm saying it's like them. It's like they can approve it. They don't even go to the shop, and they'll fucking some sets of rims or tires and stuff. But yeah, that was freaking awesome. That company. And so, if you're gonna get into the business, own a shop, I highly recommend you have those companies. One of those companies. There's many of them now, but back then it was just only one, or 2, something like that, maybe 3. But now there's a whole bunch of them and stuff. And yeah, it's I recommend it. I recommend you do it, and see how your results go with that. Get some sales that you couldn't have gotten before, because the customers pay little by little to them. Let's say it's even 3 months. They pay it off in 3 months. They have 0 interest that they pay to the company. They just pay like their fee. Yeah, and so like if they don't pay in 3 months, then it's kind of like for the customer, they get charged the first month interest, the second month interest, the third month interest, and the fourth month interest. So it's like a very high percentage of what they gotta pay. So I always tell them, you gotta make sure you pay that thing off in 3 months, because you know you're gonna get charged a lot if you don't pay it off in 3 months. But 3 months is a lot of time for people to pay. So most of my customers, there's been a few that don't, but most of them do pay it off on time. There's some that didn't pay it off like 2 months later, and it's like, man, they got a lot of interest they paid and stuff. But I mean, they knew what it was gonna happen. They didn't pay it in 3 months, but they say, oh yeah, I don't have the money at the time, and I'm gonna pay little by little, and and that's what happens and stuff. So yeah, so another story I want to use is that we, you know, my dad years ago, he had like this little Chevy truck, had rails on the side. It was like a 3500, but it's small. I mean, only like when it comes to used junk tires, or even like regular used tires, probably, I don't know, like 100 or something fit like that, you know. It was very small, like a 8-foot bed with some stakes on the side. And so that's the one we used all the time back then. We didn't have a lot of business, so we were able to cut our tires or just take them like that to the disposal where they cut the tires out there and they bury them, which is not far from here. We would go once a week. So I was the one who would take them, dump them, right? Take them to the dump, but especially for tires only. So, you know, that one worked out all right. Like, I mean, not a lot of business back then. Use that truck for other things, like like you had like heavy stuff you need to move around, or bigger stuff, sorry. But you know, that's mostly what happened at small tire shop. They had like a little truck. And even to now, a lot of shops have like little trucks, not even the bigger truck. So, I pretty much, at the time, I was already, you know, buying my own things. I was already growing up. I had bought like a little, what is it? Chevy Impala, like a 2006, something like that. Or I don't know what year, 2004 or something. Anyways, traded that for a GTO, and then a GTO I traded it for a Cadillac STS. That was like a 08. And then I was like, well, I want to make some money, like, you know. So I traded that thing for a truck. It was a 2016 Ford LCF. And that thing was big. That thing was like that was a 16-foot, pretty tall. It was very nice, out in and out, and lower miles, like 150,000 for one of those box trucks. So that was like awesome. When we got that thing, I was like, okay, now I can put a lot of tires. I'll go buy used tires. Back then, those used tire places, wholesalers, they didn't have delivery. So we had to have our own trucks to go pick up, and you know, it was harder back then. And so, but with that truck, it made it easier. That thing, I was able to dump way more tires, go dump less amount of times, maybe like every 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks, to the dump. And when I go pick up tires, I'll be able to pick up more, fit more. So if you bring more, you make more. Like you have more tires, you make more money. So my income went up from that truck. That was an awesome deal I did, right? And so it was awesome. Man, I had that truck for like 11 years or something like that. And so throughout the years, you know, your truck, like, it needs maintenance, right? And those things are expensive. It's not like a regular truck. That was a V6 turbo. So like, even the Isuzu ones are expensive to fix, like brakes and like suspension and you know hubs and you know oil changes and I mean the list goes on and on. The filter needs to be cleaned out if you know have that California special filter. So all that stuff is expensive, and I was like, man, this thing's freaking expensive. Like, and I only use it for like moving tires now, like to take it to the dump. By the way, like, So what happened is now the used tire guys, wholesalers, they started having their own trucks, right? A lot of them didn't, and so now they did, and now they started offering delivery for cheap, like $50 per load, and I was like, man, I would just go like in my car and pick them out, and then they'll bring them out here and we'll pay them or pay them over there or whatever, and they come drop them off. All the tires you wanted. They even do like 2 loads or, you know, depends whatever amount of tires you get. And so like, I don't need my truck for that, so I just use it for like dumping. So like, but to dump is like, man, it's like, that's expensive for that freaking truck. And insurance and registration every year. It was like, I think registration was like, I don't know, $300 a year or something. So the point is, just to have that truck was very expensive. Every year. So like I was like, well, what if I cut that big expense every year and just pay someone to come pick up my tires? And that's what I did. So what happened was I cut my expenses big time, and I still gotta pay for the junk. I mean, I still gotta pay per load to like go dump them, but guess what? I don't have to pay no maintenance, no insurance, no yearly registration. The maintenance is the killer, man. That thing was like kind of like $3,500 a year to upkeep that thing, man. That's expensive. Plus all the other stuff. And so so just to have it sit there most of the time, it looked nice, but you know, in it was just the junk tires. So now I pay, and it's a lot cheaper, and I've been saving a lot of money. And that's been already a couple years that I got rid of it, and I'm just paying for. And by the way, the field. One of the reasons I had to get rid of it is because the filter, the California laws, you know, the whole, you can't drive it no more. They're gonna give you registration because of the smog thing, you know. But it's like a filter thing. But now I'm paying my sister, and now they're doing it. They do it, and she makes more money now, and you know, she charges me, and she's been doing that for like, I don't know, 20 years now or something. And it, you know, good for her. I mean, you know, she's gonna make more money now from me, and I want to make more money now because I don't have that truck. So that's the one thing I did to reduce cost. You know, your cash flow grows by only 2 ways. You make more money, you increase the gross, right? And 2 is you decrease your expenses. You know, you get left over with more, your cash flow increases. So that was another very good thing. But you just gotta find ways to make money in your shop. I'm not trying to be like a cheap guy or something like that. Oh, these blades cost this much, want to cut tires. I'm gonna buy these are cheaper. Nah, not like that, you know. But like lights, you're gonna have so many lights. They shouldn't be on right now, but lights, they if you switch into, I believe they're called the LEDs nowadays, the newer ones, which is like those. They're cheaper to. Every month my cost went down. When I started switching lights, I started taking off the old style, you know, the old shops. So we would switch them out through the years. I think it was HIDs before or something like that, and then they went to LEDs, which saves even more money and a lot of light and stuff. So you know, that was another big cost savings per month when it comes to the light. I mean the water in the tire shop is not gonna be a lot. Like, it's a very low cost when it comes to water and utilities, right? The light is the most biggest one, and I wanted a lot of light in this shop because like when there's a lot of light, it feels like there's less people want to steal your stuff. And another thing that we did is that we built these big walls, and yeah, it was expensive, but no one ever stole a tire again after this. And this has already been many years. Yeah, and see cameras and all that, but it's so we put up the walls, and then we put a bunch of lights. But there's like, okay, I'd rather pay lights and pay a security guard, they say, because all they're gonna steal my tires, right? Not that they were stealing a lot back then, years ago, but the walls were small. They were like about this high back then, all around that way. So yeah, the people would jump over and take a few tires and stuff. But I was like, I'd rather pay light and keep the shop looking nice than pay the security guard. Security is gonna be expensive. But that was like, man, that was like 15 years ago. And so like we did that, and it worked out great. No one ever stole again, even till now. No one ever stole. But throughout the years, like, we cut the cost of the light. Okay, we just upgrade what kind of lights we want. LEDs. And now it's a lot cheaper, a lot cheaper. And you still get all the benefits. Now nobody steals, and it still looks very nice at night with all the lighting. So, but the point is, like, you know, you gotta find ways to cut your cost, and your cash flow grows. You know, one of the biggest things, if you can find a like we get a lot of tires from like the used tire wholesalers, and you can find places that have like the same amount of quality but like a lot less tires that you're gonna be able to get, and for cheaper. Let's say like a gas station, or let's say like a CarMax. Yo. I'm recording.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, what happened?
No, I was gonna say I want to check the tires.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'll check them. I'll check them later. Yes, I was saying that's my sister, but I was saying that you know, you can find these places that you know that you can handpick and they don't care, which is only like, it's rare that you find them, but they are out there. And you know, if you have time at night, you go pick them up, and so like that's another way you can cut your costs when it comes to used tires, because it's very expensive. Like every month, you pay a lot for the used tires, and the new tires is very expensive too. Every month is gonna be, this year gonna be a big expense. Is the inventory? It just comes and it comes and it comes, and but if you can find them cheaper, of course it's you know, I haven't been able to find them like that, but I do know shops that do, and I'm like, wow, that's nice, you know. And but I mean, I'm happy still because like I get great quality stuff, you know. Like the customers are not gonna complain. If they do and the price, they're the wrong customer, I'm like, you know what, take them or leave them. I mean, you know, I don't really care much about that customer, you know. Like, you can do that all the time, crying and stuff. Like, well, I'm just saying, like, it's gonna be a bad thing. I'm not gonna say that all the customers will be crying and I don't like them, but like most are not gonna. Most are realistic. Oh, this is awesome tires. I want to pay a lot because they're awesome. I understand things are expensive. You know, you want those. You got a lot of everything, but what I'm saying is that the tire's good. Like the tire's quality is good, and if I pay more from, it's cool, I guess. No problem. I'd rather be paying cheaper, but can't complain. Pretty much you can't complain. So you have a lot of meat on the tires. You're always gonna be in a great position. If you hold them for a little longer, you're in a great position. You sell them, you're in a great position, right? Another thing I want to say to you guys is, speaking about quality of tires, is that you don't know how much it costs you to hold bad tires. Like I'm talking about like my place. I have a lot of good, like my whole shop in my opinion is like good quality, good size and stuff like that. But like I go to other shops and I see their inventory and then I see they're all like old crack and yeah, there's a whole bunch, a ton, but like they're not gonna sell. They're just gonna sit there for years, and that takes up your shelf space. And it just, yeah, it may look nice. A customer comes in that don't know shit about tires. Like, oh yeah, a lot of tires and shit. But it's like those things are never gonna sell because like we have asked the customer what kind of tires. Oh yeah, I want the good ones. You know, all of them. No one's gonna say I want some beat up ones, unless they're really like willing to pay a little bit, and they're gonna dump the car type of stuff. But mostly everybody's gonna be using it on the road, and they're gonna want some decent ones that at least they're gonna last you like a few months, not something that's gonna last you like a week or two. Anyways, and so that we have all those tires like racks of like junk. It's like, man, it's costing you so much money just to have those things there. It's like they're not gonna sell. First of all, they're just gonna be there, and what if you filled with some real good quality stuff, like either a size that moves a lot, right? Like, example, 235, 45, 18. That thing sells a lot. We sell so much of that size sets and all the time. And so, for example, this rack, these 1, 2, 3 rows, is filled with that size, and it sells and sells and sells. 235, 45, 18. Compared to you have a rack that's full of junk that's never gonna sell some, weird sizes, 215, 45, 16 type of stuff, or whatever, something that's just bald and like, it's like, man, like, it's gonna cost it. You got a picture like this. Every tire that you have is gonna cost you per month. Let's say it costs you like, I don't know, let's just say it costs like 15 cents each tire, right? In their spot. So it might not sound like that, or like this row it costs you like $1, let's just say, a month, right? So, you gotta think about it, like all that adds up. Like it adds, and it's per month, and time flies. So that's costing you compared to like you're paying it still, but you have something that's good that moves. Okay, so like example, this is the low profile sizes right here. When it comes to 20s on the bottom row, and we're always picking from here, like, oh, this sells, this sold, this one sold, this one. So like, yeah, it costs you, but you made, like, example, how much when you sold them, you made X amount of dollars. And so it's like that section's paid off. But now they had a set here, it sold, we just put 2 tires up there. Those one right there, it sold. So like it paid for like the whole rack for like the month type of shit. Like, and like you get like tires here, you sold, so it paid for like this rack and this rack right here, and now that, and so like, it's the whole shop's constantly being used. I still need to fill up that one, and it's beautiful. We have room. It's awesome. I like it. To some people, I want to get it filled, but to me, it's like that's opportunity for you to get some good tires and fill it, some good quality shit. Like up there, look at, it's like being used, but look at the quality up there, high tread, everything, and sets, everything. That's beautiful. Sets. We got pairs up there. I don't know, the sun's kick. We got a set up there. I can't see it, but that's 295, 75, 16 general grabbers, all terrains. So when they come and they can't find the tires anywhere, and then you have them, you can sell them for a good amount because they're not gonna have them anywhere. Plus, they're good tires, and it sells. The end result is that it sells, right? And so, like, if you have tires, like every week, I I go around and just like walk and do like, if I'm organizing and I see a tire size that's older, size or not hot, I will grab it and throw it away, you know, or lower tread that I know is just not gonna move. I do that on purpose to make more room, to, you know, be able to organize better. And then it happens, like I fill up the rack and then like it, you know, sells. It just increases your sales, your cash flow, and so it's and that's another thing I want to talk about, organizing, by the way. You're gonna have to be the one doing it. Like, you guys are not gonna be the one capable of doing it. I mean, I've been in the business since I was a kid, and never, no, not even till now, no one is able to organize like I can. Like, it's not that I'm badass, or it's just that they just not capable. Like, they don't know what to do. Like, example, like if this was like selling 205, 55, 16, right? And you have like 4 left, let's just say, right? You have 4, whatever. So what you do is you take the 4 off, and you have a bunch of stuff on the floor and stuff like that, other sizes, that you put in all the same size of something. So you're constantly organized, like, and you're taking off tires from the floor and you're putting them on racks, which makes a lot more room. Now you have more room on the floor if you can have fucking put tires on the floor, right? But and it's ongoing. Like, you're always gonna be selling. You can have always like room on the rack. So you take off the remaining tires and you fill it with another size. Because the thing is, like, I would like to keep the same thing over and over and over. And sometimes I do, like in this case, like 205, 55, I can always get them. But like, let's say this right here, like if I sell these 265, 50, 20s, and then I can't get more for like a lot, am I gonna leave the whole rack open until like months until like I can get them again? No, like what you do is you fill it with something else, another set. And so, you know, the guys, they're not gonna be able to do that. They're just, I don't know, they don't want to do it, or they just rather do something else, or you're gonna have to be the one. Let's go to the back and organize. And so like, you can even hand them the tires, they put on the rack, or backwards. Have you pick them out, they roll to you, you put them on. I mean, this is real simple stuff I'm talking about, but the thing is, like, I'm telling you, like, if you go to shops and they're real organized and stuff, the owner's the one that's doing that stuff. It's a lot of work for the owners. It's a lot of like making sure you have the tires where you want them, and because again, you're not gonna always be able to get the same shit over and over and over, and so you have to fill the rack, and so again, if you don't have time to do it, because it could get really busy, then you can just throw in a bunch of tires and then worry about it like later on. Like in this case, this rack, there's like a whole bunch of tires that like we just threw in all different sizes. See, like that 215, 45, 17, 225, 45, right? And so we just, because we're not gonna have it all on the floor, but we had the racks on the, like nice and clean and stuff, like 0 tires on the racks. So you throw it in, and so like later on you got some more time, you get like a bunch of the same size. Let's say you have a bunch of like 225, 60 17s, and you put it all in one rack, right? And that one rack is, so that, let's say they start selling, you know, like 3 left, you take out the 3 and then you fill it with another size that you have a lot of the same size. Let's say 225, 50, 17, 215, 50, 17, let's say. And so the guys, they're not gonna be able to do that. So they're just not capable of doing it or whatever. And never in the history that I've ever seen any employee organized nice, clean, right? Like, they only do it if you're the one right there telling them, get that tire, put it over there. Get that tire, put it over there. Of course, you want to be the one helping them, so it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be like, here you go. Put it on right there. It makes the job faster. Gets it just done, And so like the shops that have like these big ass messes, they're the ones that have the employees organizing all kinds of different sizes all over the place. Like they don't have like sections for them, and they just fill in the racks, and it's like all messy. And, like you can't find nothing because they're all over the place. You don't get the sales because you can't find the tires, because you're not gonna be there all the time as the owner. So you're gonna expect them to find the tires when they're not around, but they look and they can't find it. It's not that they're not gonna try hard to look for them. It's gonna be that they can't find them. Even like you're gonna have a hard time finding those tires once you get back to the shop. Like, man, where are these things at? And then be all buried like in the middle, like in the bottom of a bunch of random tires and shit. What is the 15 doing in the 20s and stuff like that? And so, as a shop owner, you're gonna be the one with the organizing. I know you're very ambitious, and you're like, hey, I'm down, I don't care. Like, yeah, that's the way it's gotta be. Even to like, my 20 years later, I'm still doing all the organizing and stuff like that. And not organized is my fault, because I know they're not gonna be able to do it. So it's like I get very busy too. I got a lot of things I gotta do also from the outside of the shop. But like, you gotta eventually come back and organize. And when you organize, you're gonna be selling more. And every time it's organized, you're gonna sell more. I don't know why it happens. It just like there's gotta be something magical about organizing. You just make more money all the time. When I mean, I think the best, easiest way to think about it is like it's easier to find, and that's why you make more money, right? That's probably the reason. But I don't know. It's just like organize, make more money. So you gotta stay on top of your organization of tires. So yeah, I mean that's a few things I want to talk to you guys about back here. So hope you guys are gonna have a good day. I got things to do also right now. Good stuff. Beautiful day, and have a good one.